Does the BMI apply to people who lift weights? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals about this today. So this is one of these things to where you get a lot of people who misunderstand this idea, and they misunderstand why even medical doctors will say, yeah, a lot of serious athletes and really serious weightlifters, we can't apply the BMI the same as the general population, because they carry a ton of muscle, and muscle is different than body fat. And we need a context for the fact that more muscle itself always improves health. Okay? It always improves these health markers. All right? Now I'm going to get into the point in a minute of where people say, but how come some of these bodybuilders and really big athletes don't have the best health and best lifespans? And the answer to that is not because they gained muscle. That's where people misunderstand. They're like, oh, it can't be healthy to have all that muscle. It's still body weight. No, it actually can. It's the other stuff they put into their body to get there that's the problem. Okay? That is what's creating the health issues, not the actual muscle. In other words, if we could magically, with no side effects, zero side effects of any type on your health, create a substance that only cause the accumulation of extra protein in your muscles, cause them to grow faster, with no impact on lipids, no negative impact on cardiac muscle, organs, it would absolutely 100% improve your health. Okay? Like if someone who's already reached their close to natural limits, they've been training hard 10 years, if such a substance existed, they could do all of that side effect free and put another 30 or 40 pounds of muscle on you, your blood work would actually improve. Your health markers would all probably improve further. So because of it, but unfortunately, just by the way, unfortunately, that doesn't really happen. That doesn't exist. Science has not gotten us there yet. So when they do, though, and maybe they will eventually, all right, that's going to change a lot of those discussions, big time. Now, that aside, let's get back into the topic and delve into it a little more. All right. So the question becomes, does BMI apply to the average person? And I'm going to say still yes, because the odds that you have gained enough muscle for it to no longer apply is going to be relatively rare. And so while I'm talking here, I'll pull up a BMI chart. And what do we find here? So let's take the average height American male, right? Average height American male is going to be 5'9". The healthy range is going to be considered, that 19 to 24. So that's up to around 170 pounds. Okay. Now a bunch of people are going to point out your BMI is 30. Yeah. And I am a very serious lifter of 25 years who, again, may have done some different things to gain muscle that a lot of people are not going to do. But even then, what if I said that I do need to probably get down to 200 or less, which would put me just into the overweight category. So generally speaking, when you start thinking about how much muscle does a person have to gain, right? If the healthy range for a non-lifter, let's take the middle of that green, right? Let's say a BMI of 22, that's 150 pounds. All right. If you gain 30 pounds of muscle as an average height guy over the course of your life, that is considered to be amazing. All right. That will probably take you 10 years of really hard lifting, including leg work. Where's that going to put you at 180? That's barely overweight. All right, you gain 50 pounds of muscle to get to 200. And that's assuming you have the same amount of body fat you do. What happens if you get leaner? And therein lay the problem. It's people who are using the BMI chart who are 25% body fat. And they haven't gained as much muscle as they think. Okay, that's where we run into issues, so they'll be 5'9" or whatever, but they're 25% body fat. And they're 210 and they've gained a decent amount of muscle, but they're still carrying way too much fat. They're at an unhealthy body fat. But then they think that this chart applies to them. Well, this chart does apply to you, and I would go over to the point of, if you're not lean enough to at least see your abs, if you cannot see your abs and you're trying to say this BMI chart doesn't apply to you because you lift, I got bad news for you. This chart is still going to apply to you when it comes to health. You're going to have to still care about it. Now, if you've gained 10, 15 pounds of muscle, right, through lifting, 10, 15 pounds of muscle through lifting, and for a guy, you're probably going to be able to bench at least 200 pounds. You're probably going to be able to squat 275, 300. Sure, maybe you have about 10 pounds of wiggle room. But should you really be into the overweight or obese category? Of course not. You're still fat. Let's just be honest. For a male out there, if that's the sort of weights you're pushing, your work sets on bench are 135, for 7 or 8 reps, and you struggle to do 2 or 3 body weight pull-ups, see where I'm going with that? You're probably carrying an unhealthy amount of body fat still. Okay, so there's your context. And the people who have the higher ones, they're usually there because of great genetics for gaining muscle, years and years of training, really hard training, probably some magical supplements thrown in 90% of the time. Okay? And a lot of them could still possibly stand to be a little leaner. Okay? Even myself included. Right? I'm cutting at the time that this video footage is being made. I do need to get leaner, both visually and for health purposes. Okay? All right? Because at the end of the day, I probably do need to be at a lighter body weight, even though I'm at a healthy body fat right now. So again, people need to be realistic about this. They need to be realistic about BMI and lifters. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.